Well, we stomped off into the woods. That could have gone a little better. Not gonna lie to Laura and Parfait. Hopefully Rumple will come and cheer us up, though. I walk into the clearing and sit against the tree, furiously rubbing at my eyes as I try to clear my dangerously watery eyes. Showing emotion is weak. I sit there for a long time in the clearing, trying to calm myself. My thoughts spin wildly out of control.
Princess?
I see him out of the corner of my eye, standing between two trees, his eyebrows knit together with worry. What, you were listening?
Listening? No, I just came to look for you in your room, and when I came downstairs, Parfait told me you had run out into the forest. May I sit next to you?
I say nothing as he walks over to me. He sits down beside me, his hands resting on his knees as he looks up at the canopies of the trees.
Thank you for today, Princess. For coming after me and trying to make things right.
I'm not in the mood to talk about this right now. My thoughts are too scrambled.
Sometimes truths are hard.
How do you know it was the truth?
A feeling. Trusting people is hard sometimes, I understand.
He looks at me and his eyes seem to glimmer softly in the moonlight.
Would you like someone to listen to your problems, Princess?
I don't know. Convince me. I would talk to you, but Lucette being Lucette, I feel like you need to kind of convince her that you're more trustworthy. My problems. Why would he want to know about my problems?
I understand what it's like, Princess, to have a secret stuck inside of you. To want to keep things to yourself because you're worried that someone will prove you wrong. But you can always talk to me about it.
Why are you so interested in my problems? Ah, yeah.
I told you before that the best thing you can do is listen to a person. That's how you learn to sympathize. Besides, I honestly care about you. I will always listen to you, Princess.
Now I trust you. Rumple slowly reaches out to rest his hand on top of mine. I sit up straight and stare at him, my eyes wide. Rumple smiles at me, a slow, soft smile that crinkles the edges of his eyes.
Seeing such a beautiful lady close to tears makes my heart break, you know. But if you ever need to cry, you should. Tears aren't weakness. They're just a form of expression. And even the strongest of us cry.
I'm not going to cry. My mind reels and then starts to feel fuzzy.
Definitely the Ice Princess.
The title startles me out of my thoughts. I stare at him pointedly, beginning to grimace, but Rumple just smiles.
I always thought it was a delicate name, suitable for a strong and beautiful woman. Seeing you like this, it makes me realize that the name suits you.
Perhaps if everyone else meant it that way, it would not be so terrible a title. Rumple slowly takes his hand away and smiles. Though he insists on hearing me out, I insist on the opposite. Come on, girl. I stayed silent so you would believe. For now, I want to keep what I discussed with Parfait and Delora to myself. I still need time to process it. That does make sense, though. For tonight, I just want to forget that the conversation ever happened. For some time, the two of us are silent. There are no words exchanged between the two of us, but the silence is comfortable. Then eventually, Rumple puts a hand on my shoulder.
Things will work out, Princess.
I hope so. I stand and excuse myself. Good night, Rumple. I turn and walk away.
Good night, my sweet princess.
No. It warms the cockles of my heart, it does. Chapter 7, Muddled Truths. Oh no. Don't say that to me.
And you, my little sunflower, just as radiant as always.
Oh my, Rumple. It's like that whole thing with Bria never happened. He is back to flattering every woman he meets. Overthinking again, princess. I turn to see Karma grinning at me from where he sits at a table. Surprisingly, he is sitting with Jurian and Garland today, who are arguing about some kind of knight's stance. It is none of your business.
No, it's not, but you have such a sad look on your face, I had to ask.
I'd appreciate you not staring at my face.
I don't need to stare to see that you're in distress.
I turn on my heels and begin to walk away irritated. Even when I am among other people, it is impossible to forget the conversation I had with Parfait and Delora. It hovers at the back of my mind constantly. We have not spoken again since then, yet even now, I'm still taking in what they told me before. My mother, the Tenebaron bearer, and me, a witch. The reason others have always feared me is because of my blood. I suppress a sigh as I attempt to return to my work. Too many things going on. As the days go by, I notice myself becoming more and more agitated. Half of it is the recent history lesson, and the other half is Rumpel's flirting with other women. Poor Lucette. It's too much. How can he just snap his fingers and get over Bria so quickly? If he flatters every woman, does that mean he does not really mean the things he says to me? I gather the plates off the counter, put them on a tray, and take them to customers. Today, everything feels mechanical. For the last few days, I have been noticing that I walk more stiffly, and that if I walk too quickly, my vision blurs. Probably because of my overthinking. Stress. I stumble as I bring a tray to a familiar customer. The man looks up at me and asks if I'm okay, and I murmur that I am before walking off. I don't know. I think you're getting sick, girl. The blurriness comes back. What is wrong with me? I look over at Rumpel, who is at a table with two girls because his shift is over. Rather than boil over on the inside, I feel myself getting warmer on the outside. My skin feels clammy. I have to force myself to take a breath as I get the next round of orders. My last order for the day is for one of the girls at Rumpel's table. I don't want to go over there. I start carrying the tray toward the table, biting down on my lip as the sway comes back into my step. As I draw closer, I notice Rumpel and the girls laughing about something. I grit my teeth and pause in front of them to lay down the tray.
This isn't mine, it's my friend's.
Yes, I was the one who ordered the soup. The two stare at me. Instead of handing the soup off, they wait for me to move the bowl. Thanks. But before I can reach over and move it, Rumpel slides it over to the other girl himself. For a few moments, there's a fragment of a scowl on his face. Well, thank you.
How are you doing today, my sweet princess?
When I think about speaking, the words catch feebly in my throat. I turn to walk off.
Princess?
Still as cold as ice. The title Ice Princess definitely suits her. How can you dote on her, Rumple?
Despite the numbness of my mind, I still feel angry. I turn around so quickly that I make myself stumble. I feel myself teetering on the edge of falling, but something stops me. Warm hands reach out to grab mine before I can fall. Thank you. Through my dizziness, I can see Rumpel standing in front of me.
Princess, look at me.
Hi. He puts a hand under my chin and angles my head so I can see him better. The expression on his face is suddenly serious. He looks at me for a few moments before he places a hand on my forehead.
Princess, you have a fever. A really high fever, actually. You should go back to your room and rest. I'll drop by with some medication in a few minutes after I say goodbye to these ladies.
I am fine. My voice comes out hoarse. Trying to clear my throat only makes me feel more miserable. Oh. Lucette, I feel your pain. I was sick.
Princess, you're not fine. You look like you're about to collapse.
I will not collapse. I'm stronger than that. Mother taught me how to be strong. Mother. My thoughts become scrambled. Once again, my mind wanders, but this time I cannot keep myself steady as I try to walk away. Putting one foot in front of the other proves to be too difficult, and I once again feel myself start to stumble. Then I feel warmth, this time arms instead of hands.
Sweet little princess, what am I going to do with you?
Oh, yeah! I love narcissists, they're great. Because you get scenes like this. Before I can understand what is happening, I am lifted off my feet. I feel an arm supporting my back, and another supporting me beneath the crook of my knees. Let me just see. I've never really gotten a good look at her full dress. It's quite pretty. Very nice. Warmth. Such a nice warmth.
You really are stubborn, aren't you, Princess Lucette? I guess I'll just have to carry you up myself.
Oh, no you don't. Struggle. Yeah. Come on, Lucette. I know your personality. You wouldn't just give in. I cannot just let him carry me up like this. I attempt to move away from him, but my whole body is weak. It is all I can do to try to roll out of his arms, but even that does not work.
If you fall, you'll get a bump on your head, you know.
I am not weak. I do not need anyone taking care of me. There are voices, an indistinct chattering behind him that belongs to the girls. Rumple speaks in a low voice.
Stubborn she may be, but my sweet princess is stronger than any other woman I've ever known.
He pulls me closer to him, and I feel his chest at my head, then his heartbeat.
I know you're strong, princess. Stronger than anyone else, even. But because you're so strong, I know you'll never admit to needing help.
That's right. That's why I struggle.
That's why I'm going to help you without your permission. I'm sorry.
Slowly, I let myself settle in his arms. I lean my head into his chest and listen to his heartbeat. It is a gentle, sweet sound that makes me feeling like drifting into slumber. So warm.
Ah, but not as warm as you are right now, princess.
Aw, poor Lucette. She was even sicker than I was. His voice slowly begins to fade out as I close my eyes. For the time being, I stop caring about everything else around me. I forget about Mother, about my talk with Delora and Parfait, about the crystal, the Marchen, and I focus on Rumple. Is it so selfish to want to be the only person held like this by him? Even when he was engaged to someone before? No. Slumber slowly reaches up to claim me, darkness intermingling with warmth. In that last moment, I think I see Rumple smile at me. Oh, cute!
Mother! I have to tell you about the fairy tale that the children read to me today.
Lucette, what did I tell you about the fairy tales?
But there was a princess just like me. She found her Prince Charming and...
Fairy tales are not real.
But they make really good stories, Mother.
They are false stories. Do you really think it would be so easy to live happily ever after?
No, but...
Fairy tales make things black and white. Real life is full of grays.
Black and white?
Good and evil. No one is totally evil, and no one is totally good. Even princes are not completely just.
So princes and princesses can be... bad?
Lucette, everyone has darkness to them. The princes that throw themselves into danger are not selfless. They seek wealth, fame, or power. You see, fairy tales are lies because no one is so selfless and so full of love. People are two-faced. Trust no one.
Yes, Mother.
No one will love you like I do. To find pure love like that is impossible.
Wow.
Mother. You're the worst, though. There was a nugget of truth in there that was just surrounded by a lot of darkness and hate. Mom, no. I slowly blink my eyes open. For a few moments, the room is blurry, and there is nothing but vivid colors before my eyes. My eyes feel heavy, my throat scratchy. I stifle a cough as I blink back tears. And then through my tears, I notice a slight motion. Rumpel? Rumple is slumped in a chair in front of my bed, his head lolled to the side, his eyes closed. He murmurs something in his sleep and then shifts. What's he doing here? I notice a notebook on his lap. And what is that journal? I slowly slide my hand out from underneath the covers and reach across the bed. Right as my fingers are about to brush the cover, Rumple's hand suddenly falls on mine.
Looks like you're feeling better.
He pulls his hand away, along with the book, before carefully setting my hand back down on the covers.
At least you look better, but how do you feel?
Better. Rumple looks tired, but his smile is still there.
Oh, I won't believe it until I see it.
You just said I looked better.
That's my own analysis. But you, my sweet princess, don't sound very convinced.
My throat is a little sore, and I think if I stood up I would fall over. Why do you look so surprised?
You would usually never admit to such a thing, would you? You're still most definitely sick.
Rumple leans forward to put a hand on my forehead. His hand is cool on my hot skin. Our eyes lock as he tests my temperature. After a few moments, he finally peels his eyes away from me and sits back in his chair.
Your temperature is down, but you definitely need the rest, princess. You should go back to sleep.
And what, will you just sit there and watch me? The words come out curter than I meant them to, and for a few moments Rumple looks surprised. Then he laughs.
Princess, I haven't just been staring at you. I've been writing in my journal, too. You have such a scary look on your face. Not that it isn't enticing, but I think your smiles are much better.
I close my eyes for a few moments. I fight to put my scrambled thoughts together, but one thought in particular keeps resurfacing. For some reason, I cannot help but remember the snide women standing by Rumple's side jeering at me earlier. I open my eyes and look at Rumple. Those women from earlier.
Oh, right. I apologize for their impoliteness. The things they said to you were uncalled for, and I told them that.
You flirt with women like that all the time. But why? They are not even good people.
Not good people, but... well, I suppose they act differently when you're there. Princess Lucette, you're blind to their jealousy, aren't you?
They are jealous of me? Why? My mind turns over what they could possibly be jealous about as my eyes fall on Rumple. I remember the way he defended me to the women. Is it because you're my partner?
It's a lot more than that. It's your grace, the noble way you carry yourself.
They would never think I have those qualities.
But where else would their jealousy stem from?
They are just jealous that I take your attention away from them.
Princess, I think you're...
Even if they were nice people, I do not see how you can flirt with them when you were just recently in love with someone else. Normally I would stop talking, but the words continue tumbling out of me. I do not understand how someone like you who had a fiancé could still be flirting with girls. How can you love someone if all you do is flirt with other girls? Flattery is one thing, but you cannot just flatter every girl. Why are you still smiling at me?
I may not remember a lot of things, Princess, but I know for certain that whatever feelings I had for Bria vanished a long time ago. The good ones, at least.
Ooh. Rumple. The words break apart as I start coughing.
Don't rile yourself up over this. Please rest.
I slowly lean back into my pillows with my eyes half closed. Why do I even care about what Rumple does? Why does it bother me that he flirts with other girls? That is his business. Rumple pulls the covers closer to my chin and smiles.
Just because I flatter other women, that doesn't mean that I can't love someone.
You always say some woman has stolen your heart, but your heart cannot belong to everyone. Yet you told me you always speak the truth.
Maybe that in itself is a little white lie. Just some harmless dramatics. But most girls know that I'm being dramatic, Princess. They don't take my words so seriously, even if I do mean my compliments.
He stares at me for a few moments, thoughtful.
Does it bother you so much that I compliment other girls?
Of course not.
Though it will be difficult to hold my tongue, I will do it for you, Princess. So don't worry.
Why would he do something like that for me? My eyes are suddenly so heavy I have no choice but to close them as I let out a deep sigh. My head is beginning to hurt again. Behind my closed eyelids, I can hear a soft shuffle as Rumple moves in his chair. Right before I fall back into the darkness of sleep, I feel something warm and soft on my forehead. Rumple? I was wondering.
A good night kiss.
His words are quiet, and I can only just barely make them out. I cannot think on them because the pull of sleep is much too tempting. Lucette. This is like when Iki took care of Rosy Cheeks. Except Rumple's an actual doctor. It takes a while, but after several days, Rumple finally allows me to go back to work. I cannot remember much of what happened when he was watching over me, especially that first day. It is all a little bit of a blur now, like it was all just a dream.
Ah, Princess! Back up on your feet?
Yes, I'm fine now.
Oh, what a relief. Last I saw you, you looked quite pale.
When?
I dropped in to check on you in your room, but Rumple was there. He told me that he had everything under control.
Why did you need to check on me?
Because I was worried, of course. Maybe you've been working too hard.
No, I'm fine. Just tell me what things need to be done.
Are you sure you're okay?
She's fine, Anise. Dolores suddenly appears before me, smirking like she always does.
The princess is sturdy and a little too stubborn to let a little sickness get her down.
I have not spoken with Delora or Parfait since that night where they decided to tell me about Mother. Just thinking about what they told me, it puts me on edge.
Oh, princess, why the sour expression? Allow me to calm you down with a little lullaby.
Excuse me? Oh no, not this again. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Anise, give me those work orders now. Up above the world so high. Anise!
Oh, the tables on the west are yours, Princess Lucette.
I quickly walk away from the bar and catch only the last little bit of Dolores singing. Like a diamond in the sky. She sang that the night I was cursed. Hearing her sing it again is infuriating. The song slowly fades from my mind as I go about my work for the day. I am still a little shaky on my feet, but not so much that I need to go back to bed. As I'm walking around the bar, I catch snatches of conversation as I serve food.
I hear the king has been mediating arguments between his two advisors. Hey, that Mithros man? He reminds me of a snake, always smiling that slithery smile of his.
Oh yeah, I've completely forgotten about Fritz and Mithros and Alcaster and Varg and all those guys.
That one and Alcaster. Apparently there's been no end to their squabbles.
The king missed his monthly visit to the town yesterday, didn't he? I wonder if he's sick. There's been no word from the palace, but I suppose he must have come down with something. Nothing would keep the king from visiting otherwise.
What is going on at the palace?
Ah, you heard about the incident with the royal guard. Apparently lots of them have been getting dishonorably discharged. Found doing something to dishonor the king's name. Huh? Like what exactly? Not sure. That information is still under wraps.
I am walking forward, not watching where I'm going, when I collide with someone in my path. I feel a hand on my shoulder and then another lifts my chin.
If it isn't the lovely princess, you're looking a lot peachier today. Because you're not as pale? Because the color is coming back into your skin?
I am still thinking of the king and the situations in the palace and barely hear Rumpel's words. It isn't until he leans closer to me and narrows his eyes that I realize he is so close.
Ah, now Sleeping Beauty is truly awake. And here I was hoping I would have an excuse to plant a kiss on your lips, my sweet princess. Not a single reaction today. Not a slight blush, not a slap, not... Are you still sick? Must I perform another examination?
Examination?
Yes, by looking closely at your face, into your eyes.
How are you a doctor, Rumple? Rumple stares at me with surprise. I'm not sure where the question came from, just that it was hovering in my mind.
What? Princess, you wound me!
I have not seen you do anything different from Anise.
But my prescriptions...
Even the people at the shops could tell us what medicines to buy.
Fine, I'll show you.
Rumple's expression slips into something shockingly solemn. He looks at me gravely and extends a hand.
If you would be so kind as to come up to my room.
Does going up to your room have anything to do with work?
Delora appears before me again, this time without the snide smile. She raises an eyebrow.
I don't think either of your shifts are over.
She looks at me first.
Also, I meant for the lullaby to inspire you, not scare you, Princess.
For a few moments she looks concerned, which startles me. The lullaby is certainly associated with a terrible memory, but the weight of that memory has dissipated over time, as has my anger at Delora. It is still there, but holding on to that anger does me no good. I shake my head. You have a terrible voice.
Hey! Ah, there's the princess we all know and love.
She crosses her arms.
Anyway, you don't want me to sing you into action again, do you?
Come to my room later then, Princess. I'll show you proof.
Proof?
That I'm a capable doctor.
Sketchy. Rumple walks off, leaving me with Delora, who looks at me skeptically for a few moments.
Something on your mind, Princess?
There were so many conversations I heard earlier, so many questions that I have. While I do not want to speak to Delora, I may as well ask her about something she might know. I overheard rumors about the palace.
Did you now? We still haven't confirmed those rumors yet. Look, Princess, I know it's not in your nature to trust people, but trust Parfait and me at least. We'll let you know if something is up.
I'm ushered back to work, where I spend the next few hours searching for more information. Unfortunately, everything I hear is just speculation. Darn.
Good work today, Lucette.
Has Rumple already left?
I think he went up to his room earlier.
Thank you. Anise looks at me, curious. What?
You and Rumple have grown a lot closer, haven't you?
Well, we are partners.
But in the beginning, you didn't even want him as a partner. And now the two of you are... friends?
Friends? If Rumple considers me a friend, that should make me happy, but for some reason it makes me feel empty inside. Why? What else could we be besides friends? My cheeks feel warm as I try to think beyond the idea of just being friends with Rumple.
I'm happy that the two of you get along.
Anise, I need to go. I told him I would meet him for something tonight.
Oh, okay. Sorry for holding you up.
Anise scrambles off, leaving me by myself. I stand there for a few moments in an attempt to still my thoughts, and then I begin to make my way to Rumple's room. Rumple? The door swings open, and there stands Rumple. With a dramatic bow, he ushers me inside before closing the door behind him. Wow.
I wasn't entirely certain you'd show up, Princess. Normally when you go places with me, it's out of necessity.
I only came to see this proof you insisted upon earlier. Proof that you are more than what you seem. He places a hand on my back and guides me over to a chair. He requests that I sit, and I do.
Here it is. My proof. You tried to read it while you were sick, too.
Oh, your journal. Your journal? I have seen him write in this before, but I thought it was for his memories, not for doctor things. He barely even works on patients now. Rumple's persistence stokes my curiosity, and soon I find myself flipping through the pages of the book. This was the journal you had when the Marchand found you on the streets. You said it was empty then.
It was. I've been filling things in from memory ever since I remembered my job.
The book is filled with diagrams. Diagrams of the body, both inside and out. I have no idea what most of the words mean. What are all of the smaller words here?
Oh, parts of the pancreas. Not very fun to talk about. There's the papilla, the pancreatic duct.
Why is it necessary to use such big words for such simple things?
For clarification, sometimes when you diagnose a problem, it isn't as simple as telling a person that their heart is weak.
I continue flipping through it, with Rumple sometimes explaining things that are on the page, though I do not ask for the descriptions. Scattered throughout the journal are journal entries about his life. When I get to the last entry, I spot my name and begin to read. But before I can even get to the next word after my name, Rumple has taken the journal from my hands.
Ah, sorry, my sweet, but a man's words are sometimes all he has. Insult them and you break him from the inside out.
He thinks I'm going to insult his writing?
But what did you think? Aren't you impressed with my sophistication? My breadth of knowledge? My intricacy?
You drew some pictures and wrote fancy words by them.
Princess?
I cannot help the little laugh that escapes my lips. Immediately after I hear it, I feel myself flushing as Rumple grins at me triumphantly.
Your laughs are sweeter than honey, Princess. And because your voice is back and you're no longer sick, I can hear it in all of its fullness.
He takes a step closer to me and reaches out to touch my cheek. I flinch in surprise, but do not draw away. The rapid beating of my heart is not altogether uncomfortable, even if it does confuse me. He pulls his hand away from my cheek, then flicks my forehead. What was that for?
I wanted to see the way your eyes glimmered. You looked oddly vacant there for a few moments.
I open my mouth to speak again, but Rumple surprises me by setting his finger on my lips. He inches closer to me, so close that I can feel his breath on my cheeks.
But even when you don't speak, your eyes speak for you. You have beautiful eyes, you know. I think I should look away.
Don't get lost in his violet eyes. Velvet eyes? There he goes again with his compliments. I should be used to them by now, but lately whenever he compliments me, I cannot stop myself from feeling flattered. When I look into his eyes, I can almost see my reflection in them. Without realizing, I look away from him, feeling my breath stop short before I can breathe out.
Are you sick, Princess? You look a little flushed. Princess?
He removes his finger. He does not, however, step back. I am still aware of his lips so close to mine, and his eyes which are still looking right at me.
This feels different than your usual resistance. Could it be that you're embarrassed?
No. He clears his throat and starts speaking again.
In any case, it's so nice to have you back, Princess. I missed you while you were sleeping day in and out.
He missed me? But you have friends all over the Marchen.
Yes, but none of them are you. You're special.
My heart plunges like a rock. I can feel it everywhere in my body, reverberating from a place that doesn't feel like my chest. He lowers his face so that the two of us are seen eye to eye. I forget to breathe as his hands go to my shoulders.
Princess?
Yes? I inhale sharply as I get a better look at Rumple's face. Up until now, I have not stopped to look too closely at his features, but now I cannot stop my eyes from taking them in.
Whenever you're sick again, I'll be there to help you. Because I am a doctor, even if you might not believe it. All you ever really need is a little vitamin me.
In one precious moment, every single bit of energy that had been between us vanishes. I stare blankly at Rumple as he smiles at me.
No? I thought that one was actually good, too.
Rumple pulls his hands away, defeated. You ruined the moment. I suddenly feel strangely upset. What was I expecting from him? What else could he have said? Suddenly I'm eager to look away from him. I look anywhere but at him, and eventually my eyes fall on a piece of paper. I recognize the name printed on the top, along with Rumple's signature and the response line next to it. Rumple moves to stand in front of the desk once more.
Ah, that's...
You are still writing to Bria?
I sent her a letter asking for my old journals. I'm convinced that's where the last of my memories are, but she refuses to give them to me.
I glance at Bria's letter, my eyes scouring the words. I make a mental note of the address on the envelope. I'm gonna pay her a visit.
But don't worry, Princess, I'll figure it out. But for now...
He reaches for me, but I duck out of the way of his hand. I have to do this now, while the address is still fresh in my mind. I just remembered there's something I need to do.
But Princess, I was just...
I will see you tomorrow. I pause at the doorway to glance at Rumple.
See you tomorrow, Princess. Sweet dreams.
Good night, Rumple.